Hi guys, we're brining our fish today for fish spread. I usually brine it for at least overnight. This is probably going to be about 24 hours. I have some nice Spanish mackerel fillets from the other day. They still have skin on. Oh, that one's dripping on my garage floor. I normally would do king mackerel. I don't have any king mackerel, so we're gonna do Spanish mackerel. It will turn out pretty good, just as well. The king mackerel has a little more oil in it. I think that makes the fish spread turn out better. It smokes better. And they're a little thicker fillets. These cook up really fast. So I'm gonna put all my mackerel fillets in this cooler. So around a pound of salt. This is 3 pounds, so we don't need that much. And this really just gives it a great flavor when it's smoked. Oh, we got a little paper in there. We won't smoke that. So I'm just gonna guesstimate on the salt, and the salt's all gonna dissolve in our brine mix. So around a pound, about a third of this box. Seems like a lot of salt, but trust me, it really turns out nice this way. We're gonna dump all the liquid off, obviously, before we smoke it. I probably have about 10 pounds of fillets here, maybe a little more. Worcestershire. You can add garlic if you want. Sometimes I'll do that. This time I don't really have that much garlic, so we're just gonna do it this way. The garlic does add a little bit more flavor to it. The Worcestershire gives it a nice flavor. The brown sugar is great for smoking. It's about a cup of brown sugar, maybe a little more. You can kind of play around with it and get the right mixture that works for you. That's about a cup, huh? Mm-hmm. Put our ice in there, and then we're going to put a little water in there. And then we're going to smoke it. Guys, the next step in the fish spread process is starting our fire. So we're going to use wood that we split a few weeks ago. And I think it's cured enough now. We're going to put that in the smoker and get our fire going. We're using oak. Try to get it in small enough pieces where it fits in the smoker real nice. And it burns a little better. Those big pieces take a long time to burn. The smaller pieces, they don't take quite as long. Burn a little bit hotter. Don't want to get too hot though. I usually smoke it right around 200 degrees. My fish. That should be enough to smoke about 50 pounds. We are going to start the smoker up with charcoal. I got some Kingsford charcoal. And that'll just help me get it started a little faster, get the process going a little faster. And we're going to load that smoker up. We're going to try to get the smoker to about 200 degrees, and then we're going to put our fish on. We still have a bunch of charcoal left over from the hurricanes. That's one of the things I usually try to stock up on a little bit before a hurricane. That way if we have to cook outside, we can. We'll hit it with a little lighter fluid. Enough to get it rolling a little bit here. We're going to get our charcoal lit. We're going to put some wood in there. Looks like it's starting to burn pretty well. We're going to let it, leave it open, give it a lot of air, and let it catch pretty quick. The more air it gets, the faster it's going to burn. So once it starts going pretty good, we're going to close it up. We're going to put our fish on. Our fish is all brined. It's ready to put on the smoker. The smoker's ready. Guys, we got the smoker to about 250. It'll cool off a little when I open it. We're gonna add our fish now. All right, the next step is adding the fish to the smoker. The fish is all brined and ready to go. We're gonna throw our, I actually have a couple of kingfish fillets here. We're gonna put those on there. That hasn't brined quite as long, but that's all right. We're gonna let it slide. And then we have a ton of Spanish mackerel fillets. We're gonna slap these bad boys right on there. We're just gonna fill the whole smoker up. The Spanish fillets aren't going to take quite as long. We're going to get as many as we can on here. These Spanish mackerel fillets are only going to take probably a couple hours to smoke at 200 degrees. We'll keep an eye on them, make sure they don't get overdone. We don't want them to get overcooked. If you smoke them too long, they will be dry. All right, we got our mackerel fillets on the smoker. We're gonna close it up and we're gonna keep our eye on it and make sure that it stays around 200 degrees. Oh, we're at a good temp. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. Oh, yeah. Hi guys, now we're gonna break up all of our fish. I gotta try to get these gloves on. This never goes very well for me. It says one size fits most, but I don't know whose hands most. How am I supposed to get this on my hands? Okay, we got our gloves on mostly. We're gonna break our kingfish up. We are gonna peel all the skin off. We don't want the skin or anything that's like too dry. And then I just break it up. I crumble it up into chunks as I'm putting it in there. You can use a food processor for this part if you want. That works well. We'll just make sure you get make sure there's no bloodline, and you get all the skin off. Nobody wants to get a piece of skin when they're trying to eat fish spread. At least I don't. The fish turned out really well. I do actually have a little bit of kingfish we're gonna add to this that we caught yesterday. I smoked that. Look at that, that's gonna be so good. This might be the best batch of fish spread ever. Okay, we got most of the kingfish in here. Okay, next, we got all of our fish chopped up, broken up, mixed with our veggies. They're all in here. Okay. So we're adding our cream cheese. We're going to add 15 ounces of mayonnaise. That's about half a jar. This is a 30-ounce jar, so it's exactly half a jar. Okay, I'm trying to get the gloves on. That seems to be the hardest part of this recipe, really. Like how? Are you okay? Last but not least, we gotta mix it all together. That's the fun part where you gotta get your hands a little dirty. I don't know of any better way of doing this than just getting your hands down in there, mixing it all up. And the final test, does Lincoln like it? It's good? Thumbs up, let's go, baby.